Hello everyone, welcome back to another late breaking video with me, Samuel Sage. Formula 1 have just dropped a new preview of the Jeddah Grand Prix circuit that of course is going to take place in the 2021 Formula 1 calendar. I thought we'd have a little look at what it's like to drive around the track and let's give it some critique, shall we? Should we see what it looks like, see what we're expecting? Is overtaking possible? Can you run side by side? Are a lot of heavy braking zones viable there to make moves? Let's jump straight into it now and see what we're going to look at. We've got the video right here, let's jump in. So I'm going to stop it right away actually. We're going to have a little look at this track layout. Let me just go back. So there's already some similarities that I can see between this track layout and some tracks that we've already got featured on the calendar. The first part, which you can see, which I'm circling here with the mouse, are the S's. The S's infamous, of course, in Suzuka in Japan, but they were mirrored again in tracks such as the Vietnam circuit that we never actually got to race at and were not successful by many people that played the Formula 1 game online or simulated the match through, did not enjoy that part of the track. Also in Kota, of course Kota with that first sector also follows an S pattern. Not successful there either really. Fun to drive, but do we ever see any action there? Do we ever see any passing? Do we see side-by-side movement? We'll jump into the video of course, I might be proven wrong, but let's see, is it viable or are we going to see a repeat of what we already have? Okay, so we start off now going down the start-finish straight, and it looks like we're going to head straight into a heavy braking zone, which is positive, but then we're going to go through a chicane. Now, chicanes at the start of the circuit are not a bad thing. That does not mean that we're going to have poor racing, it doesn't mean we're going to have difficulty. Some of the best tracks in the world have a chicane at the very start of their race. Monza being one of them, and we know that Monza, the Temple of Speed, has many occasions for overtakes to take place. I don't think this is a good version of that. A chicane that provides a bit of action in a track that is not favoured by the fans, also in the Middle East, is Abu Dhabi of course. If you go down the long straight in the middle sector, you hit a heavy braking zone, there's a chicane there, and then there's another long straight. This long straight, we'll go back and have another look at it. As they're coming into the chicane, it looks as though heavy braking does occur, but it's a tight corner, another tight corner, and the track stays narrow. I feel like there's not going to be much room to go side by side here. You won't be able to battle it out into this new section, which is another heavy braking zone, but it's fast flowing, just like Vietnam. Fast flowing, we're now into those S's. We're going through the S's, the track looks like it's singular file, you can't run side by side there. Let's run through it one more time just to have some analytics on that. So here we go, part of the S's, there's the first one, into the second. It's all fast paced, all 6th gear and above. It's flowing, dirty air we know is a factor in the current Formula 1 season. I really think that once drivers attempt to move into that first chicane corner, they're not going to get another crack at it through these S's. We're not going to see side-by-side running. The cars are too wide, too much dirty air. Currently, this isn't filling me with hope. We're only about a quarter of the way through the circuit. Turn 10 of 27. Turn 10 of 27. 27 corners is a hell of a lot in one track. More corners doesn't mean more action. The S's so far not filling me with confidence, but let's move on now. By the track map that they're showing, it looks as though we might get some good action here. That sweeping corner, reminiscent maybe of Zandvoort. Let's see, hopefully, fingers crossed. So the driver comes out there, again, runs over that curb. It shows me that with momentum that they're trying to display, doesn't look like we're going to run side by side there again. But here we go, banking. Banking's fun, interesting. 4th gear through that corner. And as they exit, so okay, the issue here, 4th gear. 4th gear means that we're not having heavy braking. The cars are barely reducing their speed by half, which isn't great. Traction seems pretty easy. I know it's a simulator, but these things are usually pretty accurate now. Can the cars run side by side through there? Let's have another look. Bring it back. So we go from 7th down to 4th. The car is easily able to kiss the apex. And do we think that the straight which is provided, I'm circling with my cursor, the straight that is provided here, is that long enough to get the slipstream in behind? We'll run through it again. So it's a tricky exit. Maybe this could cause some issue on traction. Maybe that means that certain cars are able to get a better run on the car. But the issue again here is if you are going side by side, I feel like you can easily shut the door there. I'd love to be able to see two cars go side by side there because the track's quite wide at that point, which is unlike the rest of the circuit that we've seen so far. I feel like they might be able to duel each other there. That might be an opportunity to get some moves done. I'm not certain. I'm still not filled with confidence, but it could happen. There is a possibility for that to happen. Let's get on with kind of the second half of the track. We're on turn 13 of 27. So far, I'm hoping that better things are to come. Currently, it looks like we're racing around a prison. There's a lot of metal going on, not a lot of colour, and it kind of feels like Monaco in the Middle East, so not a lot of overtaking to be done. I'm hoping that the second half of the track proves us wrong. Alright, we're exiting that long swooping corner now, and it's continuing to be swooping. We haven't shifted down. Right, that's heavy. It's not heavy braking. So you think we've got a tight corner coming up. We're going from 7th gear. These cars are incredibly quick, as we all know. And you're thinking, right, heavy braking, can it be a move? No, I'm going to show you why a move is unlikely to take place here. So we're coming through, swimming through 7th gear. That heavy braking occurs. Where is an attacking car at this point going to go? We'll go back and look at it again. As we come into the braking zone, where does the car attack from? Can it go to the right? Unlikely. Looks like there's going to be an instant there if you try and stick your nose down the inside. And there's no space at all already on the left. You're going to have to follow through this section. So currently, I can't see any obvious place where an overtake is going to be made. Maybe on that first corner. Maybe. If you're ambitious. We know there's a few drivers that like to send it. Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton. We know they can pull off those bold moves. Is it going to be a common factor though? I am unsure. Now, for clarity, lots of overtakes doesn't make for a great race all the time. You know, we've seen that. How many times have we seen the Mercedes take a penalty, start at the back, and just pass back markers? It's not that exciting. Ben Hocking, one of the late-breaking hosts, famously always says that he'd rather have no overtakes on a whole race, but have them battling constantly with the threat that there could be a move at any point, the tension always there. I think that's a fair point. That can make for a very exciting race. Do I think that's possible so far on this track? I can't see it. It feels like a progression, following along, non-stop, nowhere to stick your nose in without the fear of going straight into a wall. I mean, we like punishment for drivers, but we also like the fact that they can run side by side and make moves. We're about 2/3 of the way through the track. Let's carry on now. So they're coming through that, what is meant to be a heavy braking zone, but isn't. Again, the track is thin, very Valencia looking now at this point, if you remember Valencia. No braking zone sync, still like a long straight. Baku, of course, provides a lot of action here, where they have their long straight, but this doesn't feel the same. There's a heavy... Again, it catches me out every time. It's not a heavy braking zone. You think the car starts to jump down those gears, it's hit the brakes, it's really aggressive. 5th gear and we're swimming through another chicane. A car behind you at this point, even if they're following, I don't feel like there's any way for a car to jump down the inside, go around the outside, because of the quick succession, the quick change. It's almost like the far chicane around Melbourne. How many times do we see moves made around that chicane in the middle of the track in Melbourne? It is rare, it is very small, and again, this feels like a very quick left-right chicane, high speed, not a lot of space, and if you try something too ambitious, race ending, you could be in the wall. You've got to have a lot of respect for the guy you're going next to, and we do know that these drivers sometimes make those mistakes, and that could be race ending. I feel like they're not going to want to take a risk here. The last 5 corners now, I hope and pray there's something promising, otherwise we may see 27 corners, however many laps repeated, of no overtakes time and time again. Let's see. Please, something. Okay, we're sweeping through the final corners. It's all acceleration. 25, still acceleration. In a Formula 1 car, this isn't a corner, but I think they're counting it. Yeah, apparently that's a corner. It's not. Turn 26, nothing. Okay, the final corner. The final corner is a maybe. If you can follow closely through apparently turns 25 and 26, which aren't really corners, they're just straights where, with the downforce of these cars, you have to slightly adjust the wheel. You might be able to make a move, by the looks of it, going into turn 27, the final corner. The issue I'm having with turn 27 is that on the exit here, you can just see it over on this far side, it looks like the track is thinning. And if the track is thinning, that means the exit room is narrow and a car can't take an alternate line to get a better run going down that start-finish straight. The final corner of the first corner, that start-finish straight in the middle, feels like that is one of your very few, if only, chances to make a move there on the whole track. A bit like Singapore. Singapore doesn't have many chances to make moves either. It's got the one long straight in the first sector with the heavy braking at the end. This doesn't even have a proper 8th down to first or second corner. It has no hairpins. We're seeing no heavy braking, no wide elements of the track, no opposing lines which you could take which create a switchback. And as we come out of the corner of the final one, it's very narrow. You have to come straight across, and that is the lap over. It's another tilt track. maybe Tilk's era is done and dusted, folks. I can't remember the last time Tilk made an absolutely brilliant track. The Bud circuit in India, I believe, is Tilk, and that was quite good, but we don't go there anymore, which is a real shame. I'm not seeing a lot of positives. I'm not seeing a lot of promising moments. I'm not seeing a lot of places where cars can go wheel to wheel, and I'm really nervous that this is going to be a snooze fest. And we know that Saudi Arabia is filled with political difficulties. It's, you know, the human rights there are up in the air. We know the difficulties that women have had there, and we're trying to empower all these different people in the sport. We're not even going to get a good race by the looks of it. So what's the value? FIA making a lot of money, Liberty Media making a lot of money, but are we going to get a spectacle? I personally, I can't see it happening. It'd be really interesting to know your thoughts on the track. If you're new to late braking, consider subscribing, leaving a like, and I'd love to get down in the comments with you to discuss this. So please get down there. In the meantime, I've been Sam the Sage, and remember, keep braking late.